Welcome to episode 214 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast.
You're stuck in the hundreds, babe.
I keep putting 114 on stuff. Let's see. I stole that from the most recent one posted. I put 114 on that also.
113.
113. No, I put 213. I just my brain. Anyways.
You know what? We have 12 more wake ups until school's out for summer.
Yeah.
I know the rest of the world doesn't care, but I'm pretty pumped.
Anyways, so tonight is going to be us. It's supposed to be Robert, but he is stuck in traffic currently. So he may or may not get here. I hope he does. But
I do too. I hate the traffic's crap.
We had a guest, but it is what happens. People have lives and things came up, so
yeah,
we're scheduled them for later on.
And we roll with it.
So tonight's us. But later we will do some call-ins. We'll throw up the phone line and people can call into the show. And we'll do that.
You're so funny.
Want to go ahead and do our sponsors?
Sure. We have Lil's Shop of Horrors, which operates a commercial feeder breeder facility based out of San Antonio, Texas. They specialize in rats, mice, dubia roaches, Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and many more. As feeder breeders, they focus on the nutritional needs of the animals that consume them. Nationwide shipping is available on live insects. For frozen rodent shipments, reach out to check availability in your area. My mouth doesn't want to form words tonight. I'm so sorry. They will also do weekly meetups throughout South Central Texas and are aiming to expand their meetup locations this year. So be sure to follow them online to keep up to date with their meetup schedule. Check them out on all their social media pages at Lil's Shop of Horrors.
LIL''.
Or email them directly at lilshopofhorrors.com.
Also, Herbst Reptile shows. See, the next Herbst Reptile show coming up will be the Conroe show, which
oh wow,
that's kind of quick. That's June. That's next month.
That's a month away.
It's a month from today. It's June 8th.
Yeah.
So your birthday is in a month.
Yep.
June 12th.
God, it's already that time again.
Be old. Conroe, Texas, June 8th, June 9th. If you can make it after that show, come see us. I'll be there both days, I believe. Katie, I think, will be there Sunday.
Maybe Saturday night.
And then I think our friend Hayden is going to sit in with me on Saturday for interviews.
She's ready to fill in for me.
So we'll do some interviews on Saturday with Hayden and Goose. Longview, Texas is June 22nd, 23rd. Slidell, Louisiana Herp Show is July 20th, 21st. Sulphur, Louisiana, which is the old Lake Charles show, is July 27th and 28th. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, August 3rd, August 4th. Corpus Christi, Texas is August 10th, August 11th. Bryan College Station, Texas, August 17th, August 18th. And then back over to Baton Rouge, August 24th and 25th. So that's the upcoming Herp shows. If you can make it to one, go to one. Make it to any show.
There's a lot going on.
It's a lot of shows. Also, give a shout out to VivTech if you need an LED bulb or if you need smart devices, cameras, halogen bulb, which is what I have back here on my Blue Tongue. Go to VivTech and use code GUMBO22 and save 15% on your purchase. If you haven't gone there to buy your LED bulbs, I don't know what you're doing yet. Go there, get your LED bulbs. They're amazing. All the lizard cages you see behind us have VivTech bulbs on them. So check them out. Our giveaway for last month, I'm in the process of getting the winner. Remember the stipulation was you had to tell us your favorite feeder insect and then follow both of our sponsors for that giveaway on their socials. So we're checking with them to make sure you're following them. And then if that happens, we will go ahead and tell you who won that once we find out that information. Patreon, please. I know I'm begging at this point, but go over join our Patreon. What I'm doing now with the Patreon is the audio. So the audio for this podcast will come out within a day. I don't want to say tonight because it's always rough. We get off of here at like 9 local, and usually by that time I go eat, and then we're winding down and get ready for bed. So I don't normally edit it, but it will be out at least by the next day on Patreon. For our Patreon members, they will get to hear it then. If you're not a Patreon member, the audio doesn't come out for a week later. So we're Wednesday this week. It'll come out next Tuesday for the non-Patreon people. So there's that. Also, I want to start doing a few like 5-minute, 10-minute interviews with some of our previous guests, and you'll get to ask them questions. So you'll give us questions. I'll ask them things maybe that we've had them on, but we didn't ask them about before. And there were some good suggestions. Someone suggested reach back out to, I think, Spencer Green, which would be a great one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There are a couple other ones, but so join our Patreon. And like it's like $3 a month, I went to Wendy's today and got a biggie bag for $5, and I got me chicken nuggets, French fries, a bacon cheeseburger, and a drink, and that's $5. So you can go ahead.
That's why you're not hungry.
Nah,
Was that after school?
it was after school.
James Lewis.
There's a long time between after school and dinner. Anyways, so like $3 a month, 4, 5, 20, $75 a month, whatever you want to give. We would appreciate it. It helps pay for all of this. What else are going on? Robert's not here. I'm hoping he shows up because we went to see went Croc Counters.
Yeah.
With him
Y'all had a good time.
and Joe, who we had on last week.
Yeah.
So we went over to Croc.
And I took our Joe and we went to a Lone Star Snakes
with Megan, our
presentation with Megan
at a Girl
Stabovich. Scout troop.
Slabadongovich.
James.
Whatever her name is, y'all know Megan. But she did outreach, and Joe helped her with
Joe did. She did a great job.
So that was last weekend. So, but just go to Croc Counter. If you're ever in the Houston area, you've got to go to a couple places. And we're taking Sajak, one of our listeners. It's got a silent S. We're taking him when he comes over from the Netherlands, the nether regions. We're going to take him to a couple places or try. One is the Learning Zoo up in Conroe. Our friends Drew and Becca run the Learning Zoo, and that place is growing.
That's so awesome.
They have a snow cone trailer now.
I know.
And they
have a lot of other.
They just had baby prairie dogs.
But I love how you start with the snow cones.
Snow cones. Everybody loves snow cones.
They have an aviary now.
Yeah, I don't like birds. But they had baby prairie dogs.
They do.
I saw a video of Drew hand feeding a baby prairie dog some lettuce. So they're starting to trust him.
They're starting to trust him. Yeah.
He's becoming one of them. He's about as tall as them. So it works. But the Learning Zoo, that's a great place if you're in the Houston area. Go visit the Learning Zoo. It's a wonderful place run by two amazing people. And then also on the other side of Houston, down where we live, down in Angleton, you need to go visit Croc Encounters. Croc Encounter is amazing. Like I said, we went there this weekend. We got to see giant alligators. We got to see the giant Orinoco crocodiles. They have saltwater crocodiles. They have Nile crocodiles. They have Nile crocodiles from Madagascar. They have what we think maybe T-positive albino Nile crocodiles, which are really cool looking.
That's exciting.
They're bright gold. They've got like the only ones. Those are really pretty. They've got Chinese alligators, which are the best alligator and crocodile on earth. They have some things that y'all won't get to see, but I've gotten to see. They have Komodo dragons. I have to say that I have to say Chris Dieter has 2 Komodo dragons.
I think you're required.
Yep, required every week. 2 Komodo dragons. I got to see those guys again. They've got false gargoyles. Those are off exhibit right now, but they will go out eventually. Those are really cool. They've got lots of tortoises, Cuban crocs, dwarf crocs. I know I'm missing some crocodiles in there. Siamese? No, I'm missing some crocodiles, but they got lots of crocodiles. And then they got a big leucistic alligator. He's cool. Blanco.
My eyes twitching again. I'm sorry.
Stop. They got goats. You cannot feed the goats to the alligators. I've asked, so don't ask. You can't do it.
Why?
Why can't you feed them? I don't know.
No, why would you want to?
Well, it's like that scene from Jurassic Park.
No.
The goat just strapped out to the chain.
Oh my God.
Anyways, and they've also got kangaroos, which to me are the scariest animals they have out there.
Yeah.
I'm not as scared of the crocodiles as I am their big male kangaroos.
Yeah, those things are huge.
All right. So Timothy in the chat said he once had a prairie dog bite his nipple.
Why was it that close to your nipple, and why did you not have a shirt on?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions there that may cause us to need to call somebody.
Timothy, you might need to call in and tell us the story. Ooh. Throw that number up on the screen, James.
I'll put it up there in a minute. I'm not sure I want to know how that story happened.
Come on. You can edit it out if it's not appropriate to post.
Also, out of Crocodile Encounters, they got big old host duck. They got eland and water buck and black buck and wildebeest, an emu. I think I've covered everything out there. A lot of stuff out there.
There's a lot of stuff.
It's a great place. And you won't find any of those, concrete ponds for alligators, crocodiles. These things are all unnatural ponds.
Our 3rd graders went there today for a field trip.
I'm sure they had a blast.
They said it was very humid and there were lots of mosquitoes because the weather today was very Texas.
I wonder if they saw the ball python I sold them.
I don't know.
I sold them a ball python.
One of the kids said they held a snake or they got to touch a snake.
Was it white and yellow? Because I sold them a banana.
I didn't ask. We were on the way to dismissal and I don't even know.
And you didn't want to talk to those kids? Got it.
I don't know them yet. I may have them next year, but everybody knows I have all the animals in my room. So everybody wanted to stop and talk to me.
Do you want to talk about, it's painful, but it happened.
We can. So our friend Tracy Renee wrote a curriculum, which is phenomenal. I've got some pointers I'm going to send to her just to make it a little more small kid friendly and digital. She made a curriculum for breeding quail, button quail, and for like hatching them in your classroom and raising them in your classroom and kids getting to watch the whole process. So I was reading Timothy's.
We'll get to
Okay.
Timothy's weird stories later.
So I volunteered to test out her curriculum
For quail, raising
for
quail.
the button quail.
Yeah.
In the classroom. I'm like, my kids will like this.
It's to show them the process of the eggs incubating and hatching and the whole beginning of life.
She's actually got some really cool like experiments that you can do. You actually do this with the vinegar and the egg.
Oh yeah, where you can see inside the egg.
So she's got that listed in there. So there's a lot of really great stuff in this curriculum that she's put together. And it's been great for the end of the year where I don't really have anything else to teach.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's when I get to do science.
So let's fast forward.
So they hatch and then they didn't make it.
Yeah. Within a day.
Over the course of 4 days, I lost all 19 that hatched.
2 of them got fed out to snakes though, so that was good.
Those are the first 2 that didn't make it. We think after lots of conversations that perhaps it got too cold in my classroom.
Which is a weird thought because those ones are pretty warm this time of year.
Well, and because when they're a week old, the first week, they're very susceptible to temperature, like drastic temperature changes.
You live and you learn.
We do. I will say this, the 45 4th graders that I teach took it fairly well. The one kid who was significantly serious about buying some and adopting them, her mom's already planning on coming to the Conroe show.
To get some.
They were going to come anyways. And now that she knows there will be quill there, they're like, yeah, my husband is pumped about this. But one of my kids even said, what could we do differently next time? And I said, add another heat lamp so they have a better heat source. And he said, well, we can put that in the notes so that they know, hey, try this next time, which I thought was very reasonable for a 10-year-old to come up with on his own.
Yeah.
So they were, like I said, it's funny. My gifted class was very obsessed with what did I do with them? And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, where are the bodies? I'm like, well, that's been taken care of. We're not going to discuss.
Hold on. Where are the what?
The bodies. Do you have a button?
Oh, I thought I did, but I don't. I have this, but I thought it was something else.
Oh.
I thought I had down. I thought let the bodies. I didn't. I didn't have it. I could have played this though when you talked about them dying.
Fatality.
Jeez, James, that's dark. Anyways, there was like a half a bag of the big family share size M&Ms that was consumed that day in between classes by me.
Was it by you or
I paid for it later in the day when my sugar spiked. But yeah, so I've already packed things up. Tracy has been phenomenal. Bless her heart. She's probably like, I'm never going to work with teachers again because they don't follow directions very well. And they ask me 1,000,001 questions, but she's been great through it all.
So you can try to get next year?
Maybe. She actually offered to meet me halfway this weekend to get some already established quail just so that the kids would have quail to play with over the course of the next 2 weeks. But we've got 40 million things that we've got to accomplish in the 12 years.
We can do a different setup. We can get a pretty good setup for them by next year.
I think so. And she does this all year long. So this is something that we can do again. And zoology kids can help out because they didn't really do much with it this time around. And we're going to make it work. It's going to be fun. But yeah, it's, it's part of life. And we talked about that. But yeah, they were very much like, what did you do with them? Did you bury them outside? Did you dig a little grave? Can we have a little funeral? One kid wanted to know if I burned them
what in the world?
For cremation. And I'm like, where am I going to burn them at school? Like,
just smoke them?
What? I mean, they don't need to know that I put them in a Ziploc bag and stuck them in my freezer because I didn't know what else to do with them.
If they didn't go bad, I know what we can do with if they're frozen.
When would they have gone bad?
I mean, did rigor mortis set in any of them?
Well, one of them had with yours. The one I gave you the other day.
I'm not going to risk it. It's fine. Next time we'll just feed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you live and you learn.
Yeah. And then I haven't even told you this yet either.
What?
My jumping spider died. I thought maybe he was molting. But I mean, they don't live very long. No, they did not have plastic plants, Darren.
That jumping spider is what?
But the
we
Japanese
got
spider,
it 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah,
It was already
I've
adult.
had it for a long time, and it was it's
It was like a wild caught adult, I think.
I think it was.
Anyways,
So yeah, I don't think they've noticed. They kind of
no,
forgot
Darren.
about
Plastic
him.
plants only kill the lizards. You got to keep it straight, man. Come on.
So it was a bummer, but it happens.
All right. Well, don't let anything else die.
Yeah, no. We gotta start moving stuff around the house though, because shit's about to start coming home.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You got too many animals here then.
Yeah. But Penelope has somewhere to go for 3 weeks in July while I'm gone.
Good. That's a lot of squealing. I don't have to hear from guinea pig. Let's see. What else we got going on? So my snake is still pregnant. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on here where I've got a boa that is not having a normal boa pregnancy. And
yeah, you talked about her.
Yeah. So she didn't shed when she was supposed to shed. So I don't have a countdown. Normally, for those that don't know, after the boas get pregnant, they'll have a post-ovulation shed, or you'll see a lot of times typed on as a POS shed or POS. And it's and then you count 105 days or so after that. But the problem was she didn't have one. She shed somewhere in the middle of her pregnancy. So I know that she is due within these 3 weeks. And this morning, she was a bitch. Because this morning I get to school and I have a camera on her. So I pulled up the camera at school and she's stretched out. Her tail's lifted in the air like she's going to give birth. She is pushing. I'm like, oh, it's happening. And I had Katie. Katie was still home. I had Katie come up and look at it.
Yeah, I was washing my hair when you called and Joe was like, your phone's buzzing. Then I looked over and realized it was.
But you looked at her. She looked like she was about to have babies.
I thought she was either about to poop or have babies. So I thought something was coming out.
Just so you know, I watched her all day. She didn't do either one.
Nothing
She just
happened.
cruised around the cage later. You know what I have found out though?
I did pull it up a couple times at my school.
Did you?
Yeah, the kids think it's really cool.
She will randomly lay her head on her water bowl like a pillow.
Bless her. She's uncomfortable.
Oh, she's not comfortable. She needs to pump those things out. So I'm still waiting for that. Don't know when that's coming. I will be hopefully getting a new rack from we had our guest on 2 weeks ago from Next Level Displays. I'm getting a rack from them. They're coming down to Houston for our reptile show in a couple weeks. Looking forward to that. Trying out that new rack. I'm going to need it as long as there's a healthy litter of babies. Fingers crossed, healthy litter of babies. So yeah, that's all we got going on. I don't have much else going on. I need to get rid of some animals.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
You don't even know what I need to get rid of.
Nope, let's go.
Oh, I've got one baby boa.
The newts. We need to get rid of
Jesus Christ. We are on 4 clutches of newts now. Yeah, that's a lot of it's a lot of newts. If you're wondering if that's a lot of newts, it's a lot of newts.
I have like half a kitchen.
You don't. It's one rack, and it actually worked out. We bought this rack online. It worked out great, but it's a lot of newts. I don't know. We probably have close to 100 babies down there.
Of various sizes. I would agree with that.
The biggest ones right now are probably about an inch and a half.
And they're 2 months old.
Yeah. And we've watched for them. You gotta be careful because some of them will grow faster than the others. And then we started realizing we had newts starting to lose tails and like toes, and they're just biting them off, the bigger ones. But so we have to move them, shift them down into smaller and smaller tanks and size them up appropriately. But that will hopefully be coming soon.
Is that the right one?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Wait, no, one more and then we'll know. So we got lots of baby newts, but those aren't going anywhere soon. We got to wait for those. We probably have another 3 months, 2 months with them. We're going to wait till they get big enough to lose gills, till they're kind of bulletproof. Mm-hmm. But I do have some things I need to get rid of. I've got one baby left from last year's litter, not clutch, litter. A boa, one anery het albino boa from last year's litter, which we lost because it popped up on Facebook the other day. It was like 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
And
Which was funny because my mom asked about those the other night when she was here.
Yeah. Which was when they were here, she was here.
Yeah.
And then the problem is I've got some animals I need to find homes for and not sell. And it's tricky.
Like pet purposes?
Yeah. So I've got one boa from that litter who kind of has like a Bubba, like from Forrest Gump. He's a underbite.
Oh, gotcha.
And he has a little trouble eating every now and then. So when he eats, he kind of pulls all the hair out of all the mice. So I tried last time. I fed him a smaller mouse.
Oh God!
And he got it down much easier.
Okay, that works.
So he's just gonna have to eat. He's gonna have to eat smaller meals the rest of his life, but he's fine. He just has to eat smaller meals. He's special. And then I talked about it before. I've got some rainbow boas. I really need to sex them. I never even sexed them, but I've got some rainbow boas.
We don't know what happened.
You're not even close to the mic.
I was trying to stretch my back out.
But yeah, we don't know what happened. They went through this weird shed, not shed thing, and in my attempts to try and fix it, because I tried to fix it, I made their skin worse. They're fine. They're eating great. They just have patches where they look like it's like if you were to buy a scaleless corn snake, it looks like that in those patches.
So strange.
but I can't sell those. Can't with good conscience. It's not because I think they're not healthy or they'll die. I just
They don't look like they're supposed to.
it's like a dented can of chili at the grocery store. It's discounted.
Tinted cans are half off. I haven't watched that movie in forever.
But so yeah, I need to find homes for. I need to sex the rainbows. I need to keep some, but I don't need to keep 4. With my luck, it's like 4 males sitting in there.
Probably.
But it's tricky because I want to find good homes for them. I don't want to just post them online because then people will be like, I'll take it. And then no idea what they end up doing with it. But so anyways, that's a problem for me, not for everybody else out there.
I started reading a new book that is animal based.
Is it a Jeff Corwin book?
It is this, it's called 100 Heartbeats. And it's all about what can we do to help save animals in our world.
Kill cats.
We haven't gotten to that part. The first couple chapters is all on polar bears and global warming.
Drop off ice cubes to the North Pole.
It's some of the photographs are outstanding. Some of the stories that he tells. He actually almost, because you were watching something on your phone the other night, and I was like, we should read this book together.
That
and then
horrible.
I had this whole conversation in my head, by the way, while you were sitting next to me.
That sounds absolutely
watching your
horrible.
TV show, and I was like, I should make him stop, and we should read this book together. And then I said to myself,
happen.
he's never going to want to read with you.
Not in a million
Why are
years.
you even offering this? And then I thought I could find the audiobook and maybe he'd want to snuggle and listen to the book. And then I said, no, he's going to wait for them to make a documentary about it. And then he'll watch the documentary.
I'm glad you understand it.
So I never interrupted whatever it was you were watching the other night. But he told this story about how when he was 6 years old, he would go and stay with his aunt. And he had no fear and he loved being outside. And he came across this king snake. And of course, him being a 6-year-old boy with no fear, wrapped it around his arm and took it inside to show his aunt what he had found in the wood pile. She freaks out and talks about getting it out of the house and killing it. And he goes, no, you can't kill it. She said, well, why not? And he said, because I love it. And he had no clue what he was, what it was. And so that was when he became a naturalist. And because it was all about just letting it live in its natural environment and observing it and making memories. And then he talks about 2 years later, he's observing the king snake because it had gotten used to him being there so much. So it didn't really bother him anymore. And he's laying, the book says he's laying on his stomach, just watching it do its thing. And all of a sudden he sees a flash of silver and this noise. And the neighbor has come into the yard to kill the snake. And that's the moment he said he remembers becoming a conservationist at that point and speaking out for the animals. Like that was not at all what I was expecting the story to turn in this book. But I was like, for him to, as an adult, because I mean, he's older than we are, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Corwin?
Jeff Corwin's like,
considering I watched Jeff Corwin on Disney Channel when I was a kid.
When I met him, he was an adult. So
yeah, and you were
and
a
I
kid.
was 18. So yeah.
No, he's Benjamin Buttoned over there. He's reverse aged.
But for him to vividly remember that story from when he was 6 and 8, obviously it made a big impact in his life.
So
I'll let you know how the book turns out.
I can now announce our winner for last year's giveaway, or last month's giveaway.
Yay!
So our friends over at Lil's Shop of Horrors gave away 500 dubia roaches. And our friends over at Reddy's Rainforest is giving away a bag of their feeder fuel to feed to those roaches. So someone can start up a brand new colony of roaches. And I swear it was random. We did it right before we came on.
We did. I made sure. I watched him.
And then we had to double check with our sponsors to make sure they were following them on their socials because that was the rule. And our winner for this month is in the chat.
Oh, is he? Have it? Oh, there he is.
He's
I
right
see
there.
him now.
It's Nathan Holcomb.
Whoop, whoop.
Way to go, Nathan. We'll reach out to you. You're getting some roaches.
Also, there's going to be another one that gets mailed out this weekend because I'm a slacker.
Is it the cookies?
It is the Girl Scout cookies.
Look, it's free stuff. People can get over free.
So sorry. I finally got Megan hers because we ended up with 3 winners, and I got Danielle hers, and I've got one that I've got to mail, and I'm so sorry. They've been packaged sitting by my door. I just haven't made it to the post office.
So I just want to jump back to a question here that was posted by Timothy. I'm gonna pop it up on the screen here. Timothy asked, when do you know your rainbows are ready to breed? I've read about 5 years old, but is there weight or size you want to look for? Yeah, it's an age thing. 5 is good. I mean, you could probably push 4 for a female. A male is probably ready around 3 years old. Somewhere around 3 years old and about 3.5 foot, 4 foot. But if you can get your female bigger, it's always better. I like a female rainbow somewhere north of 5 foot, and at least over 3 years old. So in that range, I feel pretty good about a female being ready at that point. So you can always go from there. You can back the ball python people and get your snake ready to breed in 3 weeks or whatever the hell they do over there. Fucking ball python people. But no, time, especially on boas. And the other tricky thing with boas, and I've talked about before, back-to-back breeding is not recommended. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's people out there that do it. I know there are. But back-to-back year breeding for boas, just because they have to carry, especially for your rainbows are carrying like 5 months. So that is 5 months of probably not eating. And then when they give birth, they look like an emptied out sock. And so you got to get weight back on them. And there's no reason to put them back through that. So
I don't understand William's comment just now.
I
think I missed something.
He was talking about the original question, the question for the giveaway.
Oh.
So anyways, Timothy, I hope that helps you.
Sorry.
It's always better to wait. With like my boas, my boa constrictors, I like to wait until at least 4 years old for the females, and north of 5 foot and weighing somewhere around 15 pounds if I can get it, 10 to 15.
So my kids in my classroom are obsessed with baby animals now. They've always have been, but the quail like triggered even worse. So I had a kid ask me the other day how old my corn snake was. And my automatic response has always been, I've had her for 7 years.
But that's not true.
That is not true.
It's not even close.
I've had her for almost 14 years.
Yeah, you can't keep saying that year and year after.
And so I stopped I went to say I've had her for 7 years, and then I stopped because I was like, I've been teaching for 12, and we got her at the zoo before that.
And she was an adult when we got her.
And she was already an adult. So I'm like, then I started kind of panicking because I'm like, shit, how much time do I have left with this corn snake?
Oh, you got a while. But those things can live into there. I mean, considering we don't ever breed that corn snake.
Yeah. Well,
and she's slow grown. She's not like pumped full of food. And she's not. You can get her well near 30.
Well, it was one of those things where I was just like, whew. She's a lot older than I thought.
So Nathan, I know you're in the chat. The Reddies wanted to know what all you keep. So go ahead, type that up. Let us know what you keep up there real quick. But yeah, so still waiting to hear on Robert. I don't know.
I know.
He was in some serious traffic.
Well, the traffic was really bad. Just going.
No, he hadn't reached 45 from his work yet. He was still in Houston.
Oh gosh.
He keeps tarantulas that eat dubias. Oh, they're gonna love dubias.
Oh, perfect.
And they're gonna grow crazy on this feeder fuel. I actually just fed my dubias, and I fed your chameleon just a second ago.
Appreciate you.
And then the mistress came on. He's like, nope, and he booked it for the hills. He
doesn't like to be out when it rains. He'll come back out after it's done.
Yeah, he ran.
Did you post that picture you took the other night?
Oh, it was
when
nighttime?
You were harassing him?
I'll have to post that. I posted him in his pajamas.
He came in here and turned the light on in the middle of the night just to get pictures of him in his pajamas.
Well, no, I walked in here for something, and then I saw him in his pajamas. I was like, that's a really cool color because we don't tend to get good pictures of him in that color.
He started turning green after you turned the light on, though.
He did. He started to. So I'll post over on the discussion group later. His or maybe on our Facebook page. His colors at night are completely different. They are orange and red and yellow, bright orange and red and yellow. But during the day, he is very much green and blue and red and yellow. So it's a crazy color change at night. You can always tell when he's ready.
You're harassing my lizards.
I also fed Pat the blue tongue skink before we started this show. Tried something new. Tried some mango and acorn squash. Pat took both of them from the tongs, but didn't seem interested once they were in the bowl. And he
doesn't really seem interested in much except for the dog food.
Loves the dog food. And we've tried.
He'll eat the dog food.
I've tried several different types of dog food, and he likes all of them. He is very protein driven. He loves superworms. He loves crickets.
Out of the bowl, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He'll take superworms out of anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Crickets. Loves crickets. Pretty good with dubias. But Nathan's got a ball python, Florida king snake, reindeer slider, a couple of copperheads, and a smallish collection of tarantulas. Well, that's how the ball python. That's good. That's how the reindeer slider, because those are gross. I just can't do water turtles. Just can't do them. They're so gross. Except if someone offered me a Diamondback terrapin legally.
Oh, we'd figure that shit out in a heartbeat.
I would. But reindeer slider. I feel bad for reindeer sliders. Just I don't know how much they're sold anymore as pets as often, but when we were kids, they were every fucking where. You gonna make it over there?
It's fine. I'll be okay.
Did you hurt yourself?
I think I did when I got the water this afternoon.
Oh, anyways, let's go ahead and share some of our stuff from the discussion page, and then we can do some. I'll do
I
focus.
haven't really been on Facebook a lot this week. I feel like I've missed everything.
Everything.
Although I need to post that quilt pattern I found. See what people think. Because I want to try to make it.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if I sent it to you.
Yeah, Nathan, that's the best thing is a huge filter, especially with turtles. You've got to have a huge filter. Big old canister filters are usually pretty good. It just gets so gross. Let's see. Over on our page, someone posted. Let's see who posted this. Nathan posted this. This was a poster of all the iguanas found in parts of Mexico, Oaxaca, and some other part. Which is cool. It's a ton. Like it's crazy how much when people hear iguana, did I say chameleons?
I don't know. I was trying to save this picture.
Put your phone away and pay attention.
No, I'm fixing to post this in the group for people.
But iguanas, I mean iguanas, if I didn't say iguanas. But everybody thinks green iguana every time they hear iguana, and there's so many better iguanas than the green iguana. So that's a cool poster. I saw that at first and I was like, wait a minute, that's not all iguanas because I don't see Fiji banded iguanas because that's what I want. But I saw where it was from. And this is people playing stupid games, getting stupid rewards. Why would you let this turtle bite your tongue?
What an idiot.
What? Oh, God, what up? I hope he took a chunk out of it like it's a cookie. I don't understand people. I do understand people. They're stupid. I get it. As a whole, humans are stupid. This was a cool one. The Orient Society posted this, I guess, leucistic, maybe, red-tailed hawk. Did you see this one, Katie?
I did.
The solid white red-tailed hawk.
It was cool.
That's one of those ones from a distance. I wouldn't know what the fuck it is. I guess maybe sitting on a power line, like every other hawk, the way they sit, I would know it. But the way it's flying in the sky like this, I don't think I would have realized. It wouldn't have registered with me. Hey, that's a white red-tailed hawk.
I don't think it would have for me either. It's hard for me to tell what bird is what bird, though.
I can tell a hawk when it's sitting on like a power line because we have so many around here. Although we talked about this last week, the 41 Eastern Indigos that got let go into Florida. That is awesome. Hold on. Oh, Lewis. Birds are lame except for solid white red-tailed hawks. That's less lame.
Hawks are birds of prey are not lame.
I love this video and I posted it. And it is kids seeing nature happen at a zoo.
Showed it to my classroom.
What did the kids say?
It was a 50-50 split. I could tell my zoology kids, like, they got it. They understood nature is nature.
So I know this for people that are not watching the video because this is a podcast and you can hear it. It is a bear at the whatever zoo. I forget what zoo it's at.
That's not important.
It doesn't matter. But it's a big grizzly bear. And in her water feature is a mother duck and several baby ducks. And
I never even saw the babies until just this moment.
What did you think she was eating?
I thought she was eating the mama.
Oh, no. She's grabbing the babies one by one.
Oh, I thought it was
like snacks.
Oh.
One of them is like right up against the glass in front of the kids. And so she jumps into the water feature and then begins picking off the baby ducks one by one and eating them in front of these kids so that are on like a field trip. And everybody's screaming and I'm like, what do you expect?
So we were at the Houston Zoo one time and what kind of bird was it?
It was, what was it? I don't remember. It
was huge.
It wasn't a spoonbill. It wasn't a shoebill. It was
some type of a hawk.
No, it
not
wasn't.
A hawk.
No, it wasn't.
But it had a toucan.
No,
beak.
not.
It was orange.
Yeah, you're way off. Anyways, it was a large African bird,
and there were bunnies
on the ground. I can't remember what it was.
We thought it was going to get the bunny.
And this little tiny bunny ran into I think we talked about it before on here, but the little tiny bunny ran into the cage, and this bird came running from across the yard to grab it, and that bunny jumped out of the cage just in time not to get eaten. I thought we were about to watch the most amazing thing. It did not happen. But anyways, this bear picks off the baby ducks one by one. That mother duck now has, in this video, one baby duck left behind her.
Gotta pay attention.
Oh, wait. Nope. There goes the bear to get the last baby duck. Oh, well. It's enrichment for people that work at the zoo. Yep, they're right in front of the kids eating that last and gone. So now that, you know what? Maybe that mother duck was tired of this fucking babies. And she's like, hey, guys, follow me to this pond. And now she's free. She's free to live her life. My dad posted this cartoon of snakes learning where to bite you on venomous rattlesnakes learning where to bite people. Don't bite the shoes, bite the ankles.
Yeah.
Nathan suggested he got kicked out of a venomous reptile group. That's because Nathan's a jerk. Folks.
Whatever.
It's a jerk. Getting kicked out of a group is, depending on the group, it feels good sometimes. The other thing I hate about getting kicked out of a group is I can't see the follow up after I get kicked out of a group. I love this because I love the Blues Brothers. So if anybody remembers the scene in the Blues Brothers where they go to the country western bar and he goes, "We got both types of music, country and western." And it says, "Oh, we have both types of reptiles, ball pythons and crested geckos."
Yeah, that made me laugh.
I thought that was pretty good. This was an amazing piece of art that was posted by Jack, who will be here later this year. It's a stained glass gaboon viper, and I want it. I want it in my house. It's a Curiosity Garden Shop.
It debuted at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. So
Yeah.
the fact that it's stateside does lend the option of
getting it.
possibly one day affording it.
I want one. It looks awesome.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. And I love that it's not a traditional shape. I like that it's an odd shape.
Yo, look good above a door. I like that one. Donald Kane posted a Gila monster. I can't have one where I currently live. This is a cool one Jack posted. It was of gaboon vipers and toads that live in that area. And the idea is that possibly the Congolese giant toad is using Batesian mimicry to look like a gaboon viper's head.
Well, I'm just saying that the toad in image D
looks like a gaboon
very
viper.
much looks like, because at first I was like, where's the rest of its body? And then I realized it was
See,
the
my
toad.
thing is I don't know how much it is mimicry as much as it is
Camouflaging for the
well,
area that
yeah.
it's in.
So why did my brain just go blank on the evolution? Starts with a C. They come to me a little bit. But basically they both evolved similar evolution because of where they live. Right? The head of a gaboon viper looks like a leaf because they lay in the leaf litter. That toad looks like a leaf because it lays in the leaf litter. I don't know how beneficial it is for the toad
to look like the gaboon.
to look like a gaboon viper.
That makes sense. It may just be a coincidence.
Because the gaboon viper is using camouflage to not be seen. So there's no reason for me that the toad wants to look like the gaboon viper to warn others to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not buying it.
That makes sense.
I would say it's convergent evolution. I couldn't think of the word convergent evolution.
Gotcha.
To organisms evolving because of similar place. This got posted over on there. This is all the stuff that's in. So Nathan, if you're looking, this is all the stuff that is going to be in your feeder fuel from the Reddies. The Reddies posted this, all 5 million things. It looks like the most healthy food on earth, and it is for your roaches.
Just the whole video process of how he breaks it all down and grinds it all up is pretty cool.
Just Lee in a room playing with a bunch of seeds.
I mean, it's kind of neat. I do like the meme that Graham posted.
I missed
You're not there yet.
Oh, okay. Oh,
How do you stay in the house all day?
and all my pets are there, and I don't like people. Yeah, I wish. If only. This was a cool one. This was from Reptilandia, where we went not that long ago, and it's them letting the Komodo roam the halls of Reptilandia, and they're walking down one side, and you can see the pass-throughs every now and then. You can see the Komodo over there, and he kind of looks, stops, and then keeps walking, and they finally get to him at the end where he runs up to him and he can pet him. And
okay, real quick before you keep scrolling, the images of the snakes on the side of the screen.
We're gonna get there.
Huh?
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
They're up top. Also.
Oh, okay, cool. Because they were further up on mine, and I had questions.
Yeah. So you can see in the video, you can watch the Komodo come up to them.
Look at that.
And they're petting the
Like
Komodo.
Freaking puppy dog.
Yep.
God.
So
Love it.
we saw the Komodo. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Again, if you're in Texas, you have to go to Reptilandia. I can't express to you as a reptile person how much that place will be. It's the best place I've ever been for a reptile person.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh, so this is Axe Reptile.
Are these all the different color faces of the same snake?
Yeah, it's all green tree.
Okay. I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure because I always get that stuff confused. So I wanted to confirm.
Yeah, it's green tree python babies in yellow, in red.
It's
green.
dirty.
So, anyways, that was
Wait, excuse me.
What? What's your question?
Hit refresh. There's another
Oh.
post on there.
My bad, ma'am. Calm down. Do you want to explain? There you go. You had to explain.
Yeah. So this is the quilt pattern that I was talking about. It's a snake, obviously, but I don't know. I'm thinking about buying the pattern and being adventurous, and it's paper piecing, which isn't bad. But I mean, the quilt itself, once it's finished without a border, is 42 by 56. So that's a pretty good size lap quilt. I don't know. It's just there's something about the pattern I have no freaking clue why the name of the quilt is No Hats in the House. That doesn't make sense to me. But it just looks cool.
So I posted. I'm gonna pull up a second. I posted over on our Facebook page. Jim in his nighttime pajamas.
Oh, cool.
So I'll pull it up on the screen in just a second. Let me get to it. Once it
See,
loads.
Nathan says, "Don't miss my post. I'm important, James." Nathan loves me.
Nathan, don't make her feel. Don't lie to her. Let me go ahead.
Somebody has to love me.
Let me go ahead and share this screen real quick. Well,
That's us.
that is us.
Very
Hello,
close.
there's us. But
Not close enough that you can see just how exhausted I am.
here is Jim in his nighttime pajamas, not looking thrilled that I.
You woke him up and
Yeah.
was harassing him.
He kind of looks green from here on that screen, but
I was
definitely
gonna say,
on the
yeah.
computer it looks yellow. It's definitely yellow and red and
Okay.
orange. But that it's his nighttime colors.
It's so funny.
I said I can go get him and show you his current colors.
You can get him out if you. I mean, did he eat a lot earlier?
No, he's good. Entertain the crowd.
I don't. Oh, that's not very good for me. I like talking about old lady hobbies like quilting and embroidery, and James makes fun of me for that. But seriously, if we want more homemade giveaways, it's definitely something that is easily done. He doesn't like you very much. You're just gonna let him crawl all over everything.
Oh, don't crawl over me.
Did he just poop?
Where?
I thought something fell.
No.
Okay.
So anybody that's looking at the screen can see his daytime colors, and then I will.
Well,
Or his
put it
nighttime
back
colors.
up there.
No, hold on.
Oh.
I'm doing this with my left hand, which is trickier.
Come on, Joe. Come join us.
You can see these are his normal colors. These
Oh.
greens
Y'all did not see your face.
and blues and reds. So you can see the drastic change from nighttime to daytime. And I'll pull up there's his nighttime colors where it's drastic oranges and yellows. But normally he's green and red with blue stripes. He is an Thambava panther.
I was just gonna let you struggle.
What's the other one? Ambanja is the blue and bluish one.
Correct. Move those paper towels onto the floor, Joe.
So, do you want to hold your chameleon?
It's fine.
Just hanging out.
I know. Joe, tell us about the workshop that you did with Miss Megan on Saturday. I'm putting you on the spot. Turn your mic on. This side. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. So Saturday? Or
Yeah.
Sunday? Saturday with Miss Megan and Lone Star Reptiles. Is
Yeah.
that what-
Yeah, keep going.
um,
Complete sentences, please.
We did a workshop where we helped one of our younger sister Girl Scout troops, and we told them about the snakes in the areas and what to do if you run into them, and describing how to define certain snakes.
Funny enough, when she told us it was for a Girl Scout troop, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. We can come help. I was like, where is it? And she gave me the location, and I was like, there's no way. What are you talking about? Because there's only 2 troops that meet there. One of them is our troop, and one of them is the little troop with daisies and brownies. And so we got to hang out with him. It was funny. One of her age group girls' mom is the troop leader. We walked in and she was like, what are y'all doing here? Like, we're reptile people today, not Girl Scouts.
Also, I forgot to throw out there when we talked about Jim. We got him from the Ready's at Ready's Waiting For. So everybody that's
Yeah.
watching this, sees, if you want an amazing panther chameleon, go check out our friends at Ready's Waiting For.
100%.
They've got some babas like we have. They got ambanjas, which are blue, which
We've
is
had
what
him
Joe
for a
has.
year.
Our friends Joe and Brittany, they have an ambanja.
And if Conroe's in a month, then his birthday is also in a month
That's true.
because we share a birthday.
We have not killed him.
Not
So he's
yet.
what, 2 now?
He'll be
coming up
2
to
in
us?
June.
Coming up on 2.
Yep, his hatch date
Like,
was June
I'm telling you
12th.
right now, if we can keep him alive, you can keep him alive.
No joke.
And just a mister. Get a mister so that you don't have to worry
That
about
has
water.
made life so easy. It really has. And
Yeah.
all we have to do is just replace the big jug.
Yeah, I just put the feed line down inside of a 5-gallon. We go and buy a 5-gallon thing of water from like Walmart or Home Depot or whatever.
Kroger,
And
H-E-B, any
Yeah.
of them
Toss it
work.
in
They're
there.
on timers, which makes it super easy.
I've got to get some hose to hook up for where's it? Oh, it's the one behind me. The lychee, so I can put her on the mister.
I don't
And-
remember seeing hose in here when I cleaned.
I don't know where it's at. I know there's no way I use it all. Anyways, so Yeah, go check out Reddy's Rainforest if you want a good chameleon.
Yeah.
We should go ahead and open the phone lines. Here, you
Go
take.
for it. Give him.
He's calm-ish. Let's see how he does.
He's your chameleon.
I'm just tired.
Oh, let me go ahead and put the phone number up. If anybody wants to call and talk, I can. First of all,
He wants you.
don't do that. I don't want him to get a toe caught in that spring.
Oh, fair point.
So
Oh,
if we could not cause toes to fall off the chameleon while it's on TV, that'd be great. So there's a number across the bottom. If you want to call and talk to us, the number is 662-476-2537 or 662, the number 4 snakes. 662, the number 4 snakes. 662-4 snakes. You can give us a call. And also join our Discord. The link is in Google, in Google. Is I was say Google Classroom because I'm saying all the time, but it's over on our Facebook. And if you need it, you can message us and I can give you the link. But there's usually a constant chat going on right now there in Discord. It's pretty good. Everybody's sharing pictures. Is it Jack? Jack has the emu babies. He posted those emu babies, which like owning small dinosaurs. What are you doing over there?
Hell, he was not me. He just like wrapped around with his tail and slid down.
I'm gonna
my
need you to learn how to handle
Careful.
reptiles. Look, he's changing into that pink and yellow color that he hadn't been in a while.
I know.
What is up with that?
I don't know. Maybe he likes me.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You can go, Joe. I brought you in.
Would you
here
like to
on my
watch?
side.
Now we can't hear. She's been muted.
That's not nice.
I can kick you out of here. I can also ground you.
Is your homework done? Okay.
Man, I was hoping Robert would get here, but maybe I haven't heard from him. He may just still be sitting in Houston somewhere. That's his only problem. Is his job is like in the middle of Houston, so having to leave there, traffic is horrible. What do we have coming up, reptile wise? Anything coming up soon? Oh, our friend Megan has started planning for. Is it Reptile Day or what is the title?
No, it's World.
It's World Okay,
Take
good.
him and I'll look it up.
Good old World Day.
World Reptile Day.
No, it's not. It's a conservation thing.
Yeah, you can see we really prepare for this stuff.
Entertain the people, James.
They're already setting a table playground for him. I do. You know what? I'd make one, but sticks are expensive.
They really are.
They're really World Conservation Day. Thank you, Nakia.
I appreciate you.
World Conservation Day. I think it's been shared over in our Facebook page.
Wildlife Conservation Day.
Wildlife Conservation Day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
It's going to be October 12th.
But
it was formerly known as Reptile Day, but it is now Wildlife Conservation Day.
the Discord link on Facebook is expired. I'll put another one up there after the show, or maybe in just a little bit, I'll put another one. Oh, we got a phone call coming in.
Whoa.
Wait for it. Hold on.
Somebody feels sorry for us.
Hold on. Wait. Hello. Who is this? Oh, it's not working. Why's it not working?
It worked earlier when we tested
It
it.
did.
out.
That sounds weird.
Hold on. Let's try again. Hello. Can you hear us? Why is it not working? Yo, what'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
We really did.
Joe, did you break it?
This is your system.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I hit all the right buttons. That's turned up. This is turned up. It should be this button.
That's why we can't have nice things.
I know.
Everything's plugged in, right?
Nakia, you were closer than I was. It's totally fine.
Can you hear us? I don't know. I'm gonna hang up. I apologize. I'll try calling back. I don't know. Hold on. Unplug that. Plug that back in. Make sure all of our cords are good.
Heard the beep.
That hurt.
Yeah, it may work now.
Let's hope.
So many things.
He's like, just let me climb.
All right. We'll see what happens if it works. But yeah, so I'll put the link up for the Discord tonight. Another link up for it tonight. And if you want the link, just shoot us a message. All right, here we go. Let's see. Press this button. Press this button. And then I press. Thank you for calling. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Who is this?
Woo!
But hold on, let me turn y'all down. Do what now?
I said, who is this?
Oh, this is Nathan. How's it going?
Good. How's it going, Nathan? You excited about your roaches?
Careful.
I am. I could definitely use some more. They do be bring it a little slower, and I got plenty of spiders that'd be interested in eating them.
I'm telling you, that feeder fuel, I've never seen roaches go crazy for food. I've fed roaches lots of stuff, but man, and be prepared. It turns their poop white. It's very weird. They have roaches with white poop.
Yeah. My only thing is, if it turns poop white, is it still good for the babies? Because I know the babies feed on the frass.
I bet it's healthier.
It
Just based on
probably
what's in it,
is.
I imagine it's healthier. I wish they'd feed off the frass more. There's still a crap ton of frass in there. But so what kind of how many tarantulas do you have?
I don't know, maybe 2 dozen.
That's too many.
Are they all different types, or do you focus just on like a couple?
For the majority, I got probably about a dozen different kinds. I got some babies.
You have a bird eater?
Area babies, old world Asian.
Do you have a bird eater?
No, I had a Lapidora parabana, which is a salmon bird eater, but it matured male and passed.
Mm.
And the teeth thermy can be a little more moisture dependent, so I haven't really wanted to dig into that too much.
See, that's the weird thing about spider folks is everything is scientific names. Like you go to a spider table at a show and everything's in spider scientific names. It gets confusing as hell.
We've had a couple of guests that do that with snakes too, though, because I'm constantly having to Google stuff.
Yeah,
on
but
those
it's different.
episodes.
No, but for them, it's like the whole hobby. That's the basis for that hobby. Like it's not and snakes. It's like snake nerds will talk in scientific names.
They're speaking in tongues.
But in
Right, and well, with the tarantulas, we typically go scientific because they're always changing. There's a dozen common names for like everything: fire-legged, red-leg. Then they got Mexican, and everybody they just call it all They have like 5 different names for each tarantula.
Well, and I imagine a bunch of them share there's certain common names that are probably just common, and they just show up again for multiple species, and that gets super confusing as well.
Exactly.
So
why
Well,
tarantulas?
I just want to
though?
thank y'all for the thing and thank y'all for the podcast. Definitely one of my definitely my favorite podcast.
Well, we thank you for the website.
yes, and everybody needs to go to the website. It's the reptilegumbopodcast.com. And the best thing that Nathan's done on there is if you want to see who we have on, go to the guest link, and they're all alphabetical order by first name.
James uses this on a regular basis.
I use it all the time to see if I've had somebody on before because I can't remember. But you can go there and it tells you what episode and click on it and you'll pull the episode up. It's the most amazing thing.
That's really cool.
Nathan is awesome for
Have
that.
you seen the
That's
website
cool.
yet, Joe?
No,
You should look that up. It looks really cool.
I should.
I don't know where your
Good.
phone is.
It's in the other.
I'm amazed she's not on it.
I know.
Well, I
I'm
am
like,
running a
should have
little
her phone.
behind because
Go ahead.
I was saying I am running a little behind because whenever I started the website, I was local. I drive truck for a living, and I was local for Kroger out of Forest Park, Georgia. But now, because the trouble's there, I had to come back over the road. So
Ugh.
I go back and forth from Georgia to Arizona and back. So I get a little behind on it.
No, that's all
You need
right.
to find a chance to scoop a little south and come by Houston and let us take you a few places.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but because of all the construction down there, the boss wants us to take I-10 over to I-20 and not go down towards.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't blame you.
San Antonio.
I don't blame you. It sucks down here for us too. That's probably why
I think
Robert
that's
is
why
stuck in
Robert's
traffic.
not here. Yeah.
But yeah, it's if anybody hadn't gone to the website yet, go check it out. It's great. It's the best way to figure out again because we're on episode 214. I honestly have forgotten some of the people and I feel bad, but it's just some people I don't remember my kids that I taught from last year. I
I was
definitely don't
just
remember
going to
guests
say,
from 3
there's
years
a
ago.
handful of people that I don't ever remember either. So.
It's really cool though.
I know I am wanting to put in some domain forward so that people can simply go to Facebook.the Reptile Gumbo Podcast and send y'all to the Facebook page, Discord.the Reptile Gumbo Podcast. Send them to the Discord site. That way people ain't gotta look up different locations. They just pretty much say the service.the Reptile Gumbo Podcast and it takes them to the appropriate site.
I'm glad you know how to do all that. Like it took me a year to figure out how to just post Discord, and I'm glad I could do that. The Ready said say
Can't even say that.
Brady
one.
Podion transvalence. What the
Got to be a tarantula.
Transvalence.
Look at you, Joe.
What is it?
Brady
Podion
Podion
transvalence.
transvalence.
Brady Podion.
Brady Podion.
Transvalient. I can't.
I don't even know if we're.
I don't know what
saying it
scientific
right.
name that is, but stop that. We're not doing.
Let me Google that.
That is not what we do on this podcast. We tongue twisters. But
Good gracious.
you can figure out what it is.
Yeah, I'm fixing to Google it.
It's a whatever that is.
Probably a bug. No one.
It is probably some sort of random ass
a
roach.
cockroach.
A bright green cockroach from.
Jesus.
Is it a bright green
Neon.
cockroach?
I don't know. I'm not there yet.
It's neon.
Knowing her, it's probably some like $80 cockroach.
Oh, it's a dwarf chameleon. That's so freaking cute.
That is cute.
Oh, it's orange.
Oh, it's a dwarf chameleon native to South Africa.
That's cute.
Better than a cockroach.
I really thought it was
Definitely.
going to be a bug.
Anyways,
Is Nathan still there?
Nathan's still there.
Oh,
He's,
I thought we
I
lost
am.
him.
I am.
he's there.
Well, drive safe.
Found him.
He gets.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm broke down right now in New Mexico,
Oh.
so
Oh
I
yikes!
gotta get an airbag replaced.
Ugh. Well, and enjoy listening to the podcast. You can catch up on some other podcasts.
Gotta love trucking. All right, y'all. Well, y'all have a good night now.
You
You
too.
too.
man.
I'll be
safe.
listening.
Bye.
Oh.
I couldn't do trucking. I'd fall asleep. I fall asleep just driving. There's no way I could just.
You
Sun-
fall asleep easily.
Sun goes down and I'm tired,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
which is not good because sun goes down and Katie can't see.
No.
There's some days are better than others.
Raptor G.
Some.
Robert does not still make racks and cages. Life just got in the way. Things happen. It got fucking expensive to make them. It's funny. Who did I see the other day? Somebody, it was Stony who makes like snake tubes and snake hooks and tongs is going to quit making one of his snake tubes because just the material alone was too expensive. It wasn't worth making them anymore.
Yeah, we were talking about it at lunch with
With Joe.
yeah
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
the good
other Joe.
vipers.
The other
The
Joe.
other Joe.
But yeah, it's just stuff's expensive. We talked about that with Next Level Displays when they were on here, and they use like high quality stuff, and it's
Yeah.
just so expensive. What's up, Sea Anal Side Exotics?
They're busy tonight.
They could not win the cockroaches because they cannot have dubia roaches up in the Great White North. Did you just take a picture of me?
Yes.
Very
That steals
strong.
my soul.
Whatever.
You can't post that.
I take pictures of you all the time.
paying
I got a
attention.
really good one of you sleeping on the futon the other night with Millie.
Wonderful.
I didn't post it on Facebook.
Anyway,
I should have.
You should.
Joe, do you want to start posting pictures of you?
No thanks.
I do it all the time.
That's creepy.
You're my child.
Motherhood is creepy.
I'm allowed.
Yeah, I'm sorry, FG, he doesn't do them. But
We do appreciate
you can
that.
also check out I'll point out our friends over at Focus Cube. They're local. They're on the other side of Houston up near Conroe.
Yeah.
You got your sign hung up.
I did. I got this is my sign, Robert, maybe my Simply Serpent sign back there. I got it hung up as well. Also, do you see the lights are on our sign, by the way? Did you notice?
I helped with that.
Oh, you found the cord.
Yeah, and it worked all of a sudden. I don't know what's up.
Yay. William Thomas has
William-
not been around.
Well, you
much.
definitely that's how you pronounce it. C Anal Side Exotic. That's what it says right there. I don't know what you're talking about.
When
Anyway.
did that even start?
The first time I popped in here, it says the Anal Side Exotics. I don't know. But yeah, Raptor G, the Focus Cube is amazing. I love their stuff. I've got a little tiny cage downstairs of theirs with a house snake in it.
It looks great too. It's really pretty.
I'd like to get some of their cages eventually.
I think
Especially
we might need to clear off the other side of that
other side of what?
of the TV. And we may
With
put
the
it.
Lego?
Yeah, we may have to move the office.
Oh.
Of the office Lego? What are we putting there?
One of the
Right.
lizards from school.
Where's
Oh,
the Lego gonna go?
We'll figure it out.
we'll find somewhere.
Hopefully.
Us-
In my mind, I'm like trying to find places in my house to put everything from school because I don't want to
Yeah.
do everything on one day.
we have animals in every room except for
bathroom,
2 bathrooms,
My bedroom.
Joe's
2
bedroom,
bathrooms. All
Three
three,
All three-
two
three
and a
bath-
half bathrooms
3 bathrooms,
Yeah.
and Joe's bedroom.
and the laundry room
Yeah. So we have them in the living room.
and the garage.
We have
Oh,
animals in the kitchen.
Garage has dead animals.
It has a freezer full of
The
rats.
freezer, that doesn't count.
But we have them in the living room, kitchen, our bedroom,
Our
snake
closet
room, our closet, podcast room, and the upstairs like
area.
area, which is craft and hang out and game space.
Yeah.
That's seven spaces in our place that have animals.
I was actually going to see if the crested gecko could go in your
Upstairs
room for
closet
the
doesn't
summer.
have any.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get some animals in your room this summer.
Fun.
Just the crested, maybe. I don't know though, because
Charlie's
your
not
room
that
gets
bad.
cold.
Yeah, my room does get
So
bad.
y'all listening? how many rooms do y'all have stuff in your house, apartment where you're staying, or are you stuck to having them in one place? Like, do you live? Some of y'all live with parents or with significant others. Like, no, animals cannot leave that room. This room has become the lizard room.
That
If
didn't last
only,
for
Mama.
long.
Lewis, only two. Now,
Only 2 rooms?
Or 2 animals.
I feel like there's got to be more to that.
Do you have a facility for your rats?
Well, yeah, but he's not counting rats. I don't think he's counting reptiles.
Like personal pets?
But he may only have them in two.
2 spaces.
Yeah, all
wish.
of our lizards are in here right now, except for the Eurymastix, who's hated me for like 14 years, 13 years, whatever.
We could, if you wanted to put him in here and just put all the lizards in here, we could move the bookshelf out.
Any slight movement
it's-
you make, Frankie, like
It's fine. He can stay in there.
times 10.
He can stay in there and be pissed.
Not there yet.
The Ready's 5 rooms. Yeah. Let's see. Council's Critters says, I just have my snake room, a hallway, bedroom, closet, and soon the living room for my only lizards I get tomorrow. What lizards are those? It's your only lizards?
Darren Watson, I have everything in one room.
Yes, Darren, we know. You have 2 snakes.
Because you're an anomaly.
Weird ass person with only 2 snakes. Darren's not a real person. He's a fake person.
Whatever.
Because no one can only have 2 snakes. But no, I took the lychee out the other day. She's really cool.
Oh yeah, my mom was pretty excited to see her up close.
We got
I
her from
love
Corey Martin, who we're going to have on the show at the end of this month. I'm excited to have Corey back on the show.
Is she traveling again?
She's traveled, but I'm also excited to talk to her because I don't know if we've talked to her since she's shifted to just legged animals. She has shifted out of snakes, and that's how we met Corey, with snakes. She has shifted to we saw those king monitors that she had that were like the size of really big green anoles.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are awesome. But let's see. Lewis says, yeah, all the rooms at the facility, but at the house we have a gecko room and a snake room.
That's cute. The Reddies only have 1 snake.
But it's
Your
a ball
favorite
python.
snake.
It is a pied ball python.
It is at least pied. It is at least pied. So that is good.
It's more interesting.
What do you get? 2 tangerine het rainwater albino leopard geckos. Grew up in a family who bred them and haven't had lizards since. So trying something new. That'd be cool. Leopard geckos are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel that.
Oh, Darren Watson wants a green tree. Yeah. I would like to move my. Where are you going?
Go potty.
Everybody wanted to know that. You could have just made up an excuse.
Yes.
God, that's crazy.
I'm not going to lie to our listeners.
That's
I-
weird.
I lied to him all with it. Can you not? It's my microphone. Stay away from my microphone. I bought enough microphones for everybody to have one. Yeah, it's we all right. So let me ask this. Those of y'all, I guess some of y'all, Darren, it's not a problem because you don't have to quarantine shit. You only have 2 snakes. You haven't got a new snake in this decade. So what's it matter? But for everyone, when you quarantine, where's your quarantine spot? Because for me, it gets hard if you have animals in every room. So I really try to save our bedroom closet because it's large enough. It's got space for cages, and it's downstairs. It's the farthest I can get away from my snake room. So that is my bedroom closet. Where are you guys quarantining animals if you bring something new? Council Critters, you said you're about to set them up in the living room, so I assume that's where they're going to quarantine anyways. But Timothy said he has 3 rooms technically, but 1 room is only used for quarantine. So there we go, 1 for quarantine, and the Tegu is in an extra bedroom. The Reddies. So you do stuff in your garage. So I'm assuming your garage is finished and air conditioned, I would imagine, because our garage is 7 trillion degrees right now.
It's either freezing or
It's always gonna be hot.
Can't walk in.
It'll be hot for the next 8 months.
Yeah.
Lewis says I don't buy snakes anymore, and wild stuff doesn't make me nervous. Yeah, wild stuff. It's funny. We always freak out, but wild stuff tends to not have mites. That tends to be a hobby related issue. Now it's not meaning they can't carry certain things or this, but I mean if you're also just keeping a lot of wild caught stuff, what's gonna happen? I mean, they were both wild caught. They're gonna catch things from it's not an issue. The big thing is really bringing them in from other people's collections. That's how a lot of stuff gets spread. Quarantine is very important. Darren says, I do have another spare bedroom in case I get... Yeah, you'd hate to have to get 3 snakes, Darren. That'd be crazy. Council's Critters says bedroom/bedroom closet usually, but the leopard geckos are going in the living room due to the dehumidifier there since I live in Oregon. So it's funny, you have to I mean, we live in an asshole down here. It's a swamp. But yeah, because they got a lot of humidity up there in Oregon. But I think your idea of a lot of humidity in Oregon and our idea of a lot of humidity in Oregon is not, or our idea of a lot of humidity is not the same.
It was miserable today at recess.
This morning, my glasses fogged up. I couldn't wear my glasses going to and from the car because it was so muggy outside.
Like, what's the temperature up there and what's the humidity? Because here, I don't know what our humidity is. But look it up, Katie. That's your job.
I say it got up in the 90s today, if I remember correctly. At least my car said it did.
Your car also doesn't have the right time.
It feels like 89 outside right now.
What's the humidity?
I'm getting there.
Because it's not the worst it's going to be yet. Although it has been raining a lot lately.
It keeps trying to open ads. I know. It's not pulling up.
Houston sucks. Get your okay. Get your balls tree frogging to your legs as soon as you walk out. I've never heard
I've
it.
never heard that phrase.
So Council's Critter says yesterday it was pouring today and was only 34%.
34%.
I've never been in 34% humidity. What the fuck's that like? Ours has to be 70, 80 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you get some of that rain during the summer and it's hitting the 90s.
77% humidity.
And that's
So
right now at,
Feels like 91 degrees.
Yeah.
So fun.
it's how it's at 60. Yeah, I could deal with 60.
Yeah.
Say 70-something% humidity is low. Give it another month or so and it's going to be
Tonight's
miserable.
average humidity is 89% humidity.
Yeah, he's right.
It's going to be awful soon.
Yeah, you're basically walking outside into water.
Yeah, that's what it felt like at recess today. Like everything was sticking to me. I was like, it's time to go inside. Well, you got 20 minutes of extra recess. Let's go. I was miserable.
It's warm outside. I don't like it.
Well, until it gets to 30% here in the
Yeah,
winter.
it's 82 where Raptor G is right now.
Yeah, it's different. You come down, like I've lived in South Alabama, I've lived in Mississippi, I've lived in Georgia, I've lived in Florida, I've
It's
lived
all
in Texas,
miserable.
I've lived in Louisiana. Yeah, I don't think the North or anywhere else in the country understands humidity the same. You may understand wetness. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure rain-wise, it's a ton in Oregon. The problem is after it rains here, oh my God, because it rains here and then it's 90-something degrees after rain.
So miserable.
And you can just watch the water lifting up into the air. That's why we talk about keeping reptiles at different places in the country, different places in the world. It's hard to say this is how you keep that reptile because I keep our chameleon, in a completely screened cage, which I'm sure is fine here. But if you get some places where it's low humidity, you may be having troubles getting your humidity up for them. So you may need some closed sides there. That's why there's no cookie cutter way to keep a lot of these reptiles because it depends on where you're at and what you're keeping. All right. I guess Robert's not going to be here. I guess he got stuck.
Mosquitoes are bad.
The mosquitoes are rough after it rains.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of the worst ones are the non-native mosquitoes. We have those tiger mosquitoes. If you look, they're big. They have stripes on them. They come from Southeast Asia.
It's awful when you're allergic to them too.
Turning that off. They're from Southeast Asia and they can bite through your jeans, like straight through jeans. Reddy says it'll be 90 degrees and raining. What are you talking about? Chameleons, they're definitely easier here. I'm not saying they're harder. I'm saying they're harder in places that don't have the same weather we have.
Right.
Like it's probably much harder in parts of like in Michigan or Oregon or something like that, where you don't have the humidity as high. You may have to close off some of your cages, mist maybe a little longer. So anyways, I don't have anything else to say. This may be a short show tonight.
Yeah.
I got a pretty cool guest lined up next week, but we'll see what happens. I do have one thing I want to talk about. So a lot of the other podcasts, some of the other podcasts that have been out for a while started these networks and we tried with a few podcasts here. But I do want to open it up to any of our listeners. If you are a go-getter and really have a great idea for wanting to do a podcast and you just didn't know where to start, I'd like to offer up us hosting it through kind of our network. I know other people do it. Oh, we have a phone call. Let's go to the phone lines. let's see if this works. Hello, caller. How's it going?
Hey, doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Who's this?
This is James Berry. I bought a boa off you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
We're good. We're good. How's that boa doing well for you?
Doing well. I got a little worried for a little bit because he would only poop whenever I'd give him a soak, but I think I was just kind of overthinking it. I ended up going down there the next day and laid a good one.
Yeah.
No, I got a question.
Okay.
Been kind of thinking. I just recently got me a cherry head, and I really am glad that like I've got into snakes before I got that, because it kind of like helped me with just husbandry and stuff, and it kind of got me thinking like a lot of people have questions of what's a good beginner reptile to get, but you know, what about after that? Whenever you want to get another one and you kind of want to step it up to a little bit harder husbandries and stuff.
That's a good question.
Well, a lot of people don't think about what's the great intermediate step, because you see a lot of people get into reptiles and they'll get a ball python, a beginner, and they're like, all right, that's awesome. Now I want a water monitor. I'm like, whoa, there's steps between those two.
Yeah.
Cherry heads are great. We have 2 cherry heads. And they're a great tortoise. I love them. I think they're a great beginner to intermediate level because they don't get the size of sulcatas. But again, they're not going to be like a Herman's or a Russian or a Greek, which is like owning a box turtle. Basically.
Yeah, they're going to have a substance to them.
But there's a lot. Look, I think so. You got a boa for me. I think boas are a good beginner snake ish, but they can also fit into that middle level because they can get 6 foot, 7 foot. But if you're buying it as a baby, that size to me doesn't really matter because you don't notice it if you grow with it. It's different than like, look, I've got several females that I bought as adults and I do not trust them just because they came to me. They're a little nippy and I'm not going to, a lot of people may calm them down, but I'm not risking taking a bite from a 6.5 foot, 7 foot boa just to try and calm them down. We're good. They understand their space. I understand my space, but you've got that baby that you'll grow up with and it'll be 3 years from now and you'll be like, oh yeah, this thing's definitely grown. But I think
I've noticed that with
go ahead.
Do what?
Go ahead.
I've noticed that with my female. I have a female sunglow, and a lot of people, you know, they get worried around me because she's gotten pretty big, but it don't really bother me. I've kind of growed with her, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, it's funny because Katie came into this, and my biggest thing at the time was an adult rainbow boa.
But he had the personality of an old man.
But he was super calm. But like, so boa constrictors, people that has never owned a boa, like a boa constrictor, like a imperator or constrictor, they move a lot. They're not, you know, some people will see like the big snakes like a berm, and berms just kind of sit. Boas don't like to sit. They like to venture out. And so when you're talking 6, 7 foot of wanting to just move, it can be a lot for someone. Even if you know that snake is fairly calm, it's just moving.
Now, I will say that after I grew with one and watched it grow and get big, I'm much more comfortable around larger snakes now.
Yeah.
Because I've watched them grow.
Well, and it also comes down to what is a large snake, right? You take your corn snake out in the classroom, someone goes, "Oh, a corn snake's huge," but come on.
Out.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh.
How big's your sunglow?
She's about 2 years old. She's getting pretty big. I'm gonna say, I mean, she's longer than my arm.
Yeah.
And she honestly, like, it almost is like she just fed up on her shed. Like, usually it's like a month and a half to 2 months, and it's just like it was like a month ago, and she just shed. I think that she's kind of hitting like a growth spurt.
Well, and you know, and for you, that's obviously not a big snake, but if you take that snake out in public, that's a huge snake for a lot of people. And you're like, this thing's gonna get 3 times the size, 4 times the size. Like, it's not big right now. I do like William Tell in the chat talked about he hates the word beginner and expert level, and we've talked about it before. It is. I'm not a huge fan of that because I don't think a ball python is a beginner snake for someone who doesn't like ball pythons. but it will be pushed on them that that's a beginner. You should get that, right? And if that doesn't do it for you, if boas do it for you, then that's probably a better beginner snake. You just have to understand what you're getting into.
I do. Well, I mean, they are more personal, and they seem more easier. Like, I mean, they have good poops, good sheds. You know, I don't think I've ever had a good shed out of my ball python, and I give them a soak. You know.
Yeah, I've never had problems getting my boas to shed. It's
My corn snake shed super easy in my car. She actually shed the other day. Kids were funny.
There's a lot of colubrids that I think. So if someone's looking for a good intermediate, I think something like a bull snake or a gopher is a good intermediate snake. It's a pretty big body.
Yeah, I've been
colubrid.
really looking into bull snakes. I think that those are really cool. They just bluff a lot, you know.
Yeah,
Is that the one that
Yeah.
Megan has?
Yeah,
Is that what Dexter is?
but it's like our
Sure.
pine snakes. They're just like our
Yeah.
pine snakes. I mean, that's,
Dexter's also an anomaly. He's super chill.
well, and Darren,
Yeah.
Darren talked about because he has one. He says short tail pythons are a great second snake. They can be. They could definitely fall into that. But there's a stigma that comes with your bloods and your short tails and all of them being mean because they were at one point in the hobby. But you can
Yeah.
find they can be very calm now, especially for someone who likes maybe that ball python look, but wants to now have a ball python that looks scarier.
So it's funny. William just said people also don't talk about a first time reptile living for 30 to 50 years.
Yeah.
And when we did that program with Megan on Saturday, the troop leader, you could tell by how she was asking questions that the girls had been asking her questions and she was trying to get like the answer that the
A
parents would
professional
want.
answer.
She wanted the kids to basically hear like this might not be the best pet for you.
Yeah.
Although asking the two of us and Megan if snakes are a good pet probably didn't go the way she wanted.
Probably not.
But we were honest with them and I was like, look, you need to think about when you go to college, who's going to watch the snake
Yeah.
for you? Because it will still be alive
Look,
when you go to college.
I will tell you that was an issue for me. I went to college and I tried to bring my snake with me and I kept getting mites. I tried to get rid of the mites, I'd get mites. And only in the dorms I kept getting mites. So I had to send it back home. And my parents had to raise my snakes until I could move out and finally get them in an apartment.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing. And it's definitely, we talk tortoises, all of them live a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
They're living well.
And everybody wants to push sulcatas on people because they're so cute when they're the size of a silver dollar and they're adorable
But then they get bigger and grow up.
and they live forever. And just space requirements. The cherry head's going to fit in a smaller pen in your backyard, and you're going to have room that can fit in a normal sized backyard.
Right.
Whereas a sulcata needs a large yard. But yeah.
Do you think that price could have a thing to do with also like beginner and intermediate? Because like it's not going to be it. I don't imagine that it's going to be simple, to get like a little kid or something to get an animal and spend $500, get their parents to spend that much money, like
yeah.
I've also thought about doomeral boas. I think doomeral boas are really cool, and like as far as like having a decent sized snake and being able to almost sit there and just watch TV with it.
Price is definitely,
but they're also expensive.
Price is definitely a big one. It's a big one because first time reptile owners don't always start as reptile fans, right? It's very easy to sell someone who really loves reptiles on a $300 snake that they've always wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's different for that mom who did not grow up as a reptile person, but
and
now
he
has a
doesn't
kid
want the reptile in the house.
and now has a kid who wants one. It's hard to sell them on that. And so that's another thing we've talked about before is what may seem like a cheap reptile isn't. Like we always bring up bearded dragons. I think bearded dragons are probably the worst beginner animal for first time reptile owners because the setup alone is insane for a bearded dragon. And a lot of people don't see it that way. They get this little tiny baby bearded dragon. They're like, I'll put it in a 10-gallon tank, one light bulb on top of it, and we're good. I'm like, yeah, it's not how that works.
We
By the
actually
time-
talked about the bearded dragon thing at the Saturday
Workshop.
group, and Miss Megan went into depth about how much the setup costs, how
Mhm.
much it costs to feed them, the commitment time. You need to be able to handle them easily. There's a lot that goes into it that people don't think about when they get
Well, and
one,
having to get bugs and having to get produce
Yeah.
and having to get
because
you
they
know,
eat so many different things.
look, I think this blue tongue skink that we got is probably one of the best beginner lizards. If you want someone, it's a good size. They're not fast. We can feed them commercially made high quality dog food, which is easy to get and keep on hand. And they're all around a really good pet, but the price tag on a blue tongue skink usually is much higher than the price tag on a baby bearded dragon.
Yeah.
At least for the animal alone.
Yeah.
And that's definitely an issue. You know, a redfoot tortoise is going to cost more than a baby sulcata. And the problem is everybody has gone to a zoo or a reptile place and seen a sulcata and they go, I want that. And they don't understand
But do you?
what goes into owning.
You really want that?
They don't understand what it's like having an 80, 90
Let's
pound
talk
tortoise.
about how big their poop is.
Oh my God, it is
Jesus.
insane.
I used to scoop it.
That was her job.
So where I think a redfoot, or I wish more people would buy Herman's, Greeks, and Russian tortoises. I wish those were
They
more
look
bred in the
cooler.
hobby and sold. But the problem is also when we talk price, a lot of these things to get a good captive bred one is going to cost a lot more
Oh yeah,
than a cheap import one. And a lot of people get a cheap import animal and it dies.
because the thing is if you get the import and you get it vetted and things like that, by the time you spend all that money, you could have gotten the captive bred
Well,
one.
and well, sometimes don't do that. They get the import, it dies, and now they've had, oh, these animals are hard to keep, and that's not true. You just didn't do it the right way, and
Right.
that's all price. Price definitely drives that.
So one of
I
the
think a big selling point for the cherry head for me was that you know, it can eat protein as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
You know, I that's just it's I fed it a super worm the other day, and within the little cup that I had it sitting in, it was an apex predator. I mean, just tore it up.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's
pinky
Turtles.
mice.
It is
when
scary.
It gets big enough for a pinky mouse.
The
Uh,
box turtle too.
Yeah.
yeah. I feed
Oh,
mine
yeah.
also little baby bell mushrooms or
Mhm.
little bell mushrooms. Those are also a good source of protein in mushroom form. So if you can't always go out and get meat or something to feed them, those mushrooms are a good source of protein for them as well.
Ours like boiled eggs also.
Boiled eggs are good.
I'll boil the eggs
Uh-huh.
and like hide them in their diets, and I've seen them like go and pick out the eggs around the vegetables and things.
But yeah, it's a
Right.
tricky thing, beginner animals, because again, price is a big one. I've seen it at shows, tons of shows. I watch these parents come in that they want to get their kid wants a reptile. The parent goes, well, I don't know if my kid's going to take care of reptiles, so I want to get a cheap reptile. And like they've
The
already started off
problem is-
wrong there.
It's like when you tell me there's no such thing as a free animal.
No such thing.
And the problem is if you think about it, the cage alone.
Yeah, there's
for
no such
some
thing
of
as
these reptiles,
there's no such thing as a cheap reptile.
some of these cages alone are going to cost you $100 by the time you buy, all the
100 is
stuff-
just for
and
maybe a cage.
and that's just
Yeah.
that doesn't
Not the stuff to
include
go
the
in it.
lighting that you need,
yeah.
the decorations that you need.
The bedding, the enrichment, all the stuff that you need for an animal.
Well, that's one of the reasons crested geckos took off so well, right? Crested geckos aren't that expensive.
I feel like
The setup is pretty easy.
I feel like they could be a good intermediate.
They're a good beginner. I think they're a good beginner. I mean,
pretty
they're
easy to
they're
take care of.
some of them are very active and want to jump around, right? That's kind of a downside for them. But they don't take all the lighting, heating, space. The diet is very easy, and so it's a great beginner. But a lot of people have that mindset that bearded dragons are the animal you need to start with,
Yeah.
right? In our chat, we're talking about someone was getting leopard geckos. Leopard geckos are good, but also fat tails are a great one too. And some people don't know about fat tails. That's another good one. But
The
if,
That is a good
African
one.
Fattail, I had one. I didn't play. Now he's my mom's one of her class pets.
he's a great class pet.
He's beautiful.
They
too.
adore him. He's out all the time.
But
Not like out walking around because he's nocturnal, but we wake him up and harass him during the day, and he comes out of his tank.
to me,
alive.
they're calmer. They're calmer than leopard
He's
geckos.
way
They
calmer
are.
than our leopard gecko,
And
and,
he'll
that's
just-
why he comes out so much.
when he gets comfortable, he'll just sit in your hand and let you
Yeah.
hold him.
Yeah,
I love him.
So to me, that's another one that if someone wants to get into something that's not that common too, fat
Yeah.
tails are a great one to get into
Mhm.
because it's a great pet and it's not that common.
so Amanda Reddy just said starting with the right breeder is the first step to success because
Yes.
chameleons are not advanced. It's just very specific care. And I cannot agree with that anymore because I mean, James and I talked in depth with the Reddys about some of our concerns, both on and off the
Because I was not going to
podcast.
do it. I refused. They were too hard to take care of.
I'm telling
But
you
they're
what,
not.
They set us up for success and we have been
He's
nothing
done
but
so
success.
So,
Well-
so if we're talking intermediate, chameleons would be a great intermediate. You know, it used to be thought they were an advanced keeper thing, but that's a great intermediate lizard.
Oh, 100%.
If you're willing to do the right setup for them,
Yeah.
You need to
chameleons
know
are
how to do it.
so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think it really helped me dealing with like keeping up humidity and stuff. Like the tortoise, it didn't really scare me. Everybody tried to say, "No, don't get a tortoise. It's gonna take too much work." But I mean, if you're already kind of doing the work, it really ain't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, the only knock on it, if you're a snake person getting into tortoises, is they do take more daily care than your snakes, right?
Yeah.
Snakes, you can check the water
For
bowl
sure.
once or twice a week, feed them once every week or every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on what it is, right? Your tortoises,
Yeah.
especially babies, are going to eat more often. You need to make sure you have the UV lights for them and have the right heat and all of that. But once you have them set up, it's really not a ton of work, and they're kind of bulletproof, which is kind of the problem. I've seen a lot of. We own a sulcata that we call Notch because his shell is so messed up
Yeah.
from obviously
He was a drop off at the zoo.
Yeah.
obviously having a bad diet and bad care and no UV lights, but he lived through that. I mean, he's
He's
an adult
doing
now.
well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he thrives with
So
us.
Absolutely.
that's kind of the problem for a lot of those guys is they are so bulletproof that unfortunately they can live through bad care. And people go, well, I'm keeping it right because it's alive. I'm like, oh yeah, but that's not.
Just because it's alive doesn't mean it's thriving.
Yeah, it's not true. So
A new fear that got unlocked for me whenever I was like studying up on cherry heads was is not raising up the light as they grow, and like there just be a huge burn spot on the very top of their shell.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was on one of Camp Kennan's videos. He had a redfoot that never rose the light up, and it just was like a crater at the very top of his shell.
Oh. Yeah, that's rough. I actually watched one of his videos lately. He just got some star tortoises, which is freaking awesome. I love star tortoises.
They look super cool.
The 90s and early 2000s in a nutshell. It's living, so it's
Yeah, that's kind of it.
yeah, surviving, not thriving.
The hobby really lived a long time of if it's alive and it's breeding, we're good. I'm like, yes, but the problem is reptiles are really good at surviving and breeding. That's
my
point.
theory for the next 2 weeks is: are we all alive and are we keeping our hands to ourselves? Then we're doing fine.
They're not your children.
but
Mm.
yeah.
My bad.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to tell y'all, thank y'all for doing this podcast, and thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
Thanks
I'll let you know, though.
Thanks for listening. And
I mean, we're bored enough that we brought our kid on tonight, so that's saying something.
Finally.
and thanks for getting the snake. I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He really likes to hear from people that have gotten snakes
Yeah.
from him.
Well,
before.
it makes me sad. I've sold snakes for I don't know, like a decade now, right? And I don't know how any of the ones from 10 years ago are doing. Like no one ever reaches out and goes, "Hey, here's my full grown." I'd like to see it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited this year because this year is really the first year I'm breeding. I'm expecting babies from something I produced. So my next litter of boas will be babies from something I raised up from a baby, and that's super exciting for
That would
me.
be really cool.
So, but yeah,
Do you think that'll be a lot more important to you than your first?
I can tell you that he's been a lot more anal about this one being pregnant than he has the rest.
Yeah.
well, the last litter I didn't know she was pregnant. They bred and I never saw anything. But no, this one, yeah, I think this one I'll also be very selective. I'm looking forward to keeping something from this litter and keeping it and moving it because it becomes a line.
I didn't say no.
What? You have no
We
idea.
talked about this the other night.
You don't know what's in there anyway. But I'm looking forward to really starting a line of stuff that I've bred and having that over time. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
The scientific point of view. Of
William Tell says I'm a C anal. That's only C anal side exotics. I am anal about this though. I do. I've watched the camera
He
nonstop.
called me this
Constantly.
morning and I asked him on the phone. He was already at school. And I said, what are you going to do if she goes into labor? I'm going to find somebody to cover my class and I'm coming
Oh, I
home.
was coming home. She
There
had
was
babies.
no hesitation in I'm coming home.
Sick day.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what the crap,
I got
man?
time. I'll come home.
You do have plenty of time.
But
Put a movie on for the kids.
Yeah. They're high school. They don't
Tell
care.
them I'll be back.
just turn the lights off. Let them go to sleep. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, James, thanks for listening. I'm Katie and I talk all the time. I'm always shocked that people listen to the podcast in the first place. That
We
amazes
had
me.
14 people watching tonight at one point.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but
Whenever I first got into reptiles, I was looking for a podcast, and I'm super big on gumbo, and I've seen the Reptile Gumbo podcast, and I was like, I gotta listen to that. And
It took us a while to
I've
come
been
up with the
listening
name.
to it ever
Yeah.
since.
Love it.
there's definitely podcasts out there with more informational type interview style stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's not us.
That's not us.
But we try to get a little bit of that in there, along with just talking about everything else,
Oh yeah.
and hope that people enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
So
I mean, sometimes I'm not exhausted and trying not to fall asleep. Tonight's not that night.
but
All right. Well, y'all have a good night.
you too. Thanks,
Okay.
man. Oops. Oh, quick. I felt bad. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Yeah.
Like
Like I said, I'm reading that book. Just because it's been something I've been looking at for a while.
the Jeff Corwin
The
book.
Jeff Corwin book. I've discovered the older I get, the more that nonfiction will hold my attention. I've never liked nonfiction books.
Yeah.
Like I'll skim some of these over here.
The
Like,
Sambo book's a good one. But that's
see,
how
and
good Jeff Sambo is.
I don't
Yeah.
like the care, like
You know what you should read is that
Study
Crocodile Hunter one.
guide.
I haven't read the Crocodile Hunter one there, but that's a good one.
Probably.
if it's kid appropriate. My kid in my class who just did his project on him, he is obsessed now.
The
with
Galapagos
Steve Irwin.
Island one, that's a good one that my grandmother got me.
He has a wonderful reason to be obsessed with Steve Irwin.
I got
Steve
you that
Irwin.
that island book.
Was that? I thought it was the one from.
This one,
Sure.
I thought I bought you for Christmas one year.
I don't know.
Who knows?
This is going to be my first summer project. I think is
Organizing the bookshelf.
because your child actually has a cool app that allows you to track all of your books.
Like a library.
Which
Yeah,
one?
the one that your teacher
Oh.
uses.
Libib.
Yeah,
You can have your own little library.
you can even get a scanner.
You can buy a scanner
Ooh, I want a scanner.
and Bluetooth it to the app.
And then we
So-
scan our books in and out.
Yeah, and you can have different sections for like this is a reading list I want to read, and you can have books and you can cross them off once you've read them. You can have books that you've already read,
Cool.
books you own, categorize them by.
I mean, how many books do you think I probably have over
style,
there?
something Like that. 50.
No, it's
Oh,
definitely more
no,
than 50.
there's probably close to 200
Whoa.
Yeah, you start counting.
because you're not seeing everything on this bottom shelf.
Oh,
Yeah, we've probably got between
How many books over there do you think I've read?
5.
Well, I don't think it's been 5.
I'd say
I don't know because there's a lot of
Two.
like the keeping of like
I didn't read all of those.
I'd say
I
like
read the
2 or
Sambo
3.
book by Warren.
we read the corn
Fisher.
snake book. We read the.
I did read the corn snake
Yeah.
book by
By the
Kathy
Loves.
Love, which is so. Raptor G said that first they saw our booth at Conroe and they've been listening since. William Tell said he's been listening since we had Kristen on from Stygian.
Cool.
a few weeks ago. One of the coolest things for me with the
love it.
podcast is corn snake related. It was having Kathy Love on.
Yeah.
That was one of those moments where I was like, how the hell did we get Kathy Love on? Because like that was when I got into reptiles. She was the corn snake
Oh,
person.
yeah.
Mama talked about it for like a week. She
I
was
was
super
pumped.
excited.
It
about
was awesome.
I got to meet her before we got married when we were in Daytona.
Yeah.
When we were going 20 years ago. And like that was cool because that corn snakes were the first snake that I got into.
Yeah, she was super
that
excited
I
about it.
liked.
And she
Yeah.
thought it would be good for like me to understand what was going on because I have a corn snake of my own.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, Raptor G said they listened to that episode. Yeah, that was a cool episode. Just look, I like having some of the older people in the hobby on because you hear the stories that need to be shared because so many people we've grown so fast as a hobby and so many people are getting into the hobby right now that don't know the history of the hobby. And I'm not saying you have to know the history of the hobby to be in it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to know the history of corn snakes to own a corn snake, but you should want to know the history of the hobby. Like you should want to know what the Loves did. You should want to know what Dave and Tracy Barker have done for the hobby and why you can own what you can own because they did all that stuff in the 70s and 80s.
if no one tried, we wouldn't be able to do what we can now.
Well, like ball pythons. Ball pythons used to die all the time. All the
Oh,
time.
yeah,
They were a
yeah.
horrible pet snake. No one liked them. And then a handful of people figured it out and now look at them. So
Yeah.
getting
everywhere.
to talk to Kathy about corn snakes was
That was
awesome.
pretty cool.
If anybody wants to trick Tracy Barker into talking to me about anything.
They're working on it.
I'd love to talk to Tracy Barker.
I'm so
All right. It's been an hour and a half. Next week we will have a guest. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
yeah.
I like old. Look, I go to. So I'll tell you, William Tell. I go to Half Price Books,
Megan hates him for this.
and I'll buy like every snake related book they have, and they'll have some. I bought one there that was from like the 40s.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll find some really old stuff there.
It
I
looks
actually
cool.
took it to a book
Expo.
convention
Yeah.
to see about getting it repaired.
Yeah, because it's falling apart.
Yeah.
But they said they
The
couldn't
spine
do
is
it.
awful.
So it's I forget where it's tucked away somewhere.
It's in a Ziploc bag so that it doesn't get messed up even more.
Yeah.
Because it's
The
from like the
pages were yellow and
1930s.
everything.
But if you have a Half Price Books, definitely check it out. If you don't find another one of those used book places, you can find some really good old reptile books in those places. Because look, there's other than here, because Megan will check the same places. There's a lot of places that people that don't. What are you looking at? That don't want those things.
I think I read that.
This is when I read to my littles when it says don't
don't-
take your snake for a stroll.
I read that book.
And I read it to one of my classes.
See, I've read a snake book before.
So all right. Again,
I've bought you a lot of kids books.
yeah, a lot of kids' books. Shout out to our sponsors, Lil's Shop of Horrors, and also Herb's Reptile Shows. Also, shout out to Reddy's Rainforest for their collab with Lil's Shop of Horrors on our giveaway. And Nathan, way to go on winning the roaches and the food. I'll get you information and get you into contact with the folks, and we'll get that to you. Don't forget, we do have a Patreon. If anybody wants to join our Patreon, you get the audio version of every show a week earlier than everyone else. And also going to start doing some small individual 5 to 10 minute interviews with some of our previous guests with questions curated by you, the listeners. You, the Patreon members, tell us what you want us to ask them, and we will ask them. Maybe we didn't talk about something when they were on the show, and you want to know more about that. So that's going to come to Patreon. And look, you can do like $3, $2, whatever it is. Every little bit helps pay for all of this stuff, and we appreciate it. We also have, if you go to our Facebook page, we have a shop. You can go buy shirts and like pajama pants and tons of other
Sorry,
stuff.
Darren, there's no Speedos.
There are no Speedos. That's not happening.
I want pajama pants.
Pajama
And check out our Facebook page or our website, thereptilegumbo.podcast.com. Thanks to Nathan.
We'll post the new giveaway here this week.
We'll figure out what it's going to be for sure, and then
We've
we'll post
got
it. We got some ideas.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff.
There's stuff.
So yeah, thanks y'all for listening. Thanks for calling in. We will see y'all next week. Hopefully Robert won't get stuck in traffic and he'll be with us next week. So
Thanks for having me on.
that's your mom. Good night.